Our species has been advancing at an extremely fast rate technologically over the past few centuries. The technological endeavours of our species have paved the way for humanity in the current day to be slowly expanding our presence in space, with the next decade looking to be one of the biggest in the history of space exploration. We can begin to get an idea of what the future of space travel may look like logistically. NASA's Artemis mission hopes to have humans back on the moon by 2025, and SpaceX hopes to have humans land on Mars sometime in the early 2030s. This is a relatively short time period to say that we have yet to travel out of low Earth orbit since the 1970s. This was not for a lack of technology, but a lack of interest in returning to the moon. Setting up moon bases for scientists to do experiments seems like something that we could see becoming commonplace in the near future. Beyond this, the interest of having humans travel to another planet seems to be at an all-time high. This is likely due to the fact that one of the richest men on the planet is behind the push to head to Mars and establish a colony there. So unless there are some severe reasons not to, it could seem likely that within our lifetime our species will have a much larger presence in the solar system. While this in itself is an extremely interesting subject of discussion, we are going to go beyond the discussion of space exploration in our lifetime and try to determine how likely it will be that humanity will ever reach another star system. If we use the Voyager probe going at 17.3 kilometers a second, it would take us around 70,000 years to reach the closest star, Proxima b. So of course with our current technology it will take us thousands of years to reach the closest star to our planet. Essentially, we are going to have to find a way of traversing the universe at speeds closer to the speed of light. With the rapid boom in technology over our recent history, it does not seem too far out of the realm of possibility to assume that as our technology advances over the next century, we will see the speed at which our spaceships travel gradually increase. Currently, we travel at something around 0.005% of the speed of light. This can be improved slightly via different methods, or be entirely ignored by our future descendants traversing the stars in generational ships. There are many negatives that come with generational ships, especially when it comes to the morality of subjecting generations of humans to live out their lives in solitude, floating through space, or just for a future generation in tens of thousands of years to reach the intended destination. New generations that are born on these ships may grow to hate the environment that they have been forcefully subjected to. This could cause conflicts to arise within the ship, which would likely result in some form of confrontation between opposing sides, causing a potential spaceship civil war. If we jump to the other end of the spectrum when it comes to traversing the galaxy and spanning the human species across multiple stars, it is believed that the speed of light is a universal speed limit which cannot be passed, meaning that at the fastest speed we can propel ourselves it would still take us 4 years to travel to the closest star. But what if it's possible to find a way around the speed of light? This is not entirely impossible. Using a hypothetical technology called an Alcubierre drive, we can essentially split off a piece of spacetime around our ship in order to accelerate the spacetime. This would in turn accelerate the spacecraft and would allow for the possibility to travel faster than the speed of light. If this hypothetical technology is possible, then our species would not only be able to travel our galaxy with relative ease, but also surrounding galaxies as well. The human experience would be entirely different if we had access to this technology. Perhaps in the future, humans will eventually set foot in other galaxies. But as I said, this is likely very far down the line when it comes to technological advancement. So it seems that for the time being, we are stuck here in our solar system. This is not entirely a bad thing, as there are many more trials and tribulations that our species will likely have to go through before we are ready to span out into interstellar space, and try and carve out our very own mark in this vast universe in which we live. Our species must improve on a fundamental level before we are able to take on these enormous tasks. Before we think about going anywhere, we need to improve the quality of life here for all peoples and beings on this planet as much as we can. As we all know and have likely experienced, these systems that our species has formed across the world are all imperfect and have many faults and loopholes that corrupt individuals exploit in order to gain more wealth and power. Hopefully, all humans can come together cohesively and try to fix the brunt of humanity's issues. We are the caretakers of the planet, and the current spokes on the wheel of humanity's societal and technological presence on this planet. Each generation shapes the world, not only for themselves, but for those that come after them. So being conscious of our finite lifespans and our fragile place in the universe may give us some clarity on decision-making for the future of the species. Space is a potentially infinite plane of darkness, with untold amounts of galaxies that reside in it, and we have to find a way to use this information to navigate our way into a better future for the whole of humankind. Thank you all so very, very much for watching. I appreciate you all so very much. I just wanted to have a brief overview about traversing the stars. Traversing the stars is something that is very interesting to me because I am an observer of the night sky. I go out and use my telescope and I look up at all of the beautiful celestial objects that we can see. Whether those be, planets in our solar system or galaxies and nebulas, and these things are all very, very interesting to look at and take pictures of. I've got some of those. I may add them together and compile them together and put them in a video sometime so you guys can see the different photos that I have taken personally. But no, I like when I'm looking up at the night sky, I'm looking out and thinking, wow, imagine how far we can potentially get in the future. If we use the resources from these different star systems, if there isn't any other living beings in these solar systems that you need to use the resources for themselves, because that would be essentially the resources for them, right? Because we've got our resources here in our star system. For all we know, there's life in every star system. It's very unlikely that there is, but we don't know that. We don't know where has life or where doesn't have life, or how rare it is, or how common it is. At this current moment, we're trying to figure that out, and that's something that we discuss on this channel as well. So if you enjoy discussing that, that's a great thing. Just traveling through space at fast speeds is something that we will need in the future in order to, span out and be able to do other things, other interesting things as, life gets more boring for the human species, as we slowly span technologically and the whole fundamental nature of the world changes. I thank you all for watching so very, very much again. I thank you all for the recent support. I'm sorry I've not uploaded recently for a few days, for about 10 days, 9 days or so. It was my birthday and I went on a trip to Amsterdam, so yes, that was very fun. Yes, I was doing what you think I was doing, but no, I wasn't doing the other thing that you might be thinking I was doing. I was doing the green one. Anyway, yeah, I love you all so very, very much. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to stay up to date with the latest content on this channel. Much love, peace out, enjoy the rest of your day, homies.